It's another day, the sun is shining. Got to know what's going on around you. Wake up, it's the time to motivate your mind. Come with me, let's make this moment brighter. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Come on and wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Wake up.
Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise. It is another fantastic Friday and you're up dead early with us. My name is Mark Daniels.
Good morning, and I'm Davriel Gardner, your co-host for today.
Hi Davriel, it's great to have you with us.
It's great to be here.
Thank you for getting up dead early and being with us this morning, bringing this nice energy. I feel like we color coordinated
Yes,
this morning, all right, so that's always good.
We had it.
So how was your week?
I had a great week.
Yeah.
It was busy and interesting.
Yeah.
Definitely courtesy of Tropical Storm Nicole.
Yes, yes.
But yeah, an exciting week.
Yeah, for those of you out there who are in the Bahamas, if you didn't know, we had a tropical storm pass through this past week. It came very close to New Providence, Eleuthera. It skimmed over Abaco and brushed over Grand Bahama before heading to the States. We're thankful that there wasn't excessive or major damage, no loss of life as far as I know. As far as I saw, that there was some major overtopping along northern coastlines. If you were in Nassau, driving along Saunders Beach, you would have seen that Saunders Beach was in the road, right? And I don't know who was telling y'all to drive out there, but y'all taking some risks. But we're just happy that overall the country fared well. And it's kind of comforting to know that we can still get those small tropical depressions, those small storms that, make us feel a bit more comfortable about being in the hurricane belt. We all know what Dorian did to us.
Yeah.
And this storm seemed to have followed a similar path to Dorian. So I know for our folks in Abaco and Grand Bahama, they were holding on with bated breath, sending up their prayers, and so we just are happy that overall we fared well.
Yeah.
And now we're getting closer to the end of hurricane season, right?
Yeah, there's always that temptation when you're like, storm's coming, you go, you prepare, and then it's like, oh, well, this wasn't that bad.
Yeah, right.
And you're almost disappointed that it wasn't dramatic, but you forget to be so grateful.
You have to be
that
grateful.
Things could have gone completely different.
I
So
agree.
I'm just very thankful. Everyone is safe. Everyone is well. I think it's that natural curiosity that makes people drive out there because most of us had the day off from work that day. So there's no reason to really be on the road except for a little entertainment.
Yeah, and we ain't too mad at them because they are the ones that posted the videos to social media that allow people like me to see what was going on the road.
Exactly.
Right? So we're grateful that that's passed. And it's been an exciting week otherwise. COP27 is going on. If you've been following the news, FTX has had some major shakeups. So hopefully it doesn't impact too much of you out there who may have invested, but just another lesson to learn about investing and taking risks. And I hope FTX come out of this one alive.
Yeah, they're in a proverbial storm as well.
Yeah. What kind
This
of
one
storm?
is like a category 4-ish,
A crypto storm, right?
Crypto storm.
But these things happen, and it's a part of the investing world. And so, stay tuned and figure out, see what happens with FTX and the crypto world here in the Bahamas. We know it's very important.
Yeah.
And we've got a great show for you today. Before we run on for too much, the Zonta clubs of Nassau and New Providence are here to discuss their campaign. Zonta says no to violence against women. And Keiran Chase is here to give us a preview of what we can expect from his presentation at the Long Island Business Outlook happening next week.
We'll also talk with Bahamas Roadmasters about the 10th annual Bahamas Half Marathon. We'll also be discussing the National Sports Hall of Fame and National Sports Month.
Looking forward to those segments. And before we go to weather, we are inviting you and reminding you that next week the Long Island Business Outlook is happening on November 17th. Tune in to find out about the opportunities and challenges happening on that island. It is a free event, and you can register at tclevents.com. I hope to see you all there. So now that the tropical storm is gone, the water looking calm, it looked like you could go swimming, God-free. Let us know what's happening.
So the push-to-talk device is a beautiful device. It operates on our work.
Weather at Sunrise, brought to you by Bahamas First. What's first for you comes first for us.
Thank you, Mark, and going Bahamas. And before I do the weather, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mark. Happy birthday to you. We love you, we do. We love you, we do. We love you, dear Mark. Happy birthday to you. And understand there's another birthday. Happy birthday, Ansel. Anyhow, in your weather, trailing rain bands from Tropical Depression Nicole at this time is still going to impact the islands of the northwest Bahamas over the next 24 hours. And also, you'll notice those winds and seas will be subsiding through the day. Any weather day, a mix of sun and clouds, still warm. You can expect a few showers, isolated thunderstorms, mainly across the northwest and parts of the central Bahamas, high turning 86 degrees Fahrenheit. Tonight, partly cloudy, a little breezy on the mild side. A chance of a few nighttime showers, your low temperature going down to 73 degrees Fahrenheit. And some regional highs and lows across the Caribbean, Barbados, 85 and 78. In Jamaica, 87 and 78. In Trinidad, 87 and 75. And the Turks and Caicos Islands, 86 and 73. Across North America, Atlanta, 67 and 48. In Raleigh, 77 and 61. In Miami, 85 and 71. Dallas, Texas, 56 and 36. And Toronto, Canada, 57 and 42. As you go through the weekend, nice weekend still weather-wise, still 1 or 2 showers from the trailing trough, but we do expect a weak frontal boundary move here sometime Sunday night over Grand Bahama, Abaco, Bimini, across New Province by early on Monday morning. Little or no weather associated with it, not even a slight cool down. So the temperature daytime will continue to be in the mid to upper 80s at daytime and the low to mid 70s at nighttime. That puts you up in your first look at weather sunrise. I'm Godfrey Burnside. Back to you, Gabrielle.
Thanks, Godfrey. Zonta is committed to putting a stop to violence against women. Here to tell us about the international campaign Zonta Says No to Violence Against Women are Sonia Brown, President of Zonta Club of Nassau, Chief Superintendent Janet McKenzie, Chair of Advocacy and Committee and President-elect of Zonta New Providence, and Dr. Niambi Hall Campbell Dean, Associate Professor at UB. Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning.
All right, so this is an incredibly important initiative to so many people, specifically myself too, because I'm a woman. But let's just talk a little bit about how we got here. Sonia, can you tell us a little bit about the campaign?
Yeah, so the Zonta Clubs of the Bahamas, Nassau, and New Providence are joining with Zonta International to say no to violence against women. The campaign starts on November 25th and ends on December 10th. And it is important that we bring awareness to gender-based violence and violence of all forms.
Okay, so Janet, tell me, how does this campaign address the needs of women?
So this campaign addresses the needs of women in 3 basic ways: body, mind, soul. So when we talk about the body, during the campaign and even throughout the year, the Zonta Clubs, we provide food packages, care packages for women who are in distress at the time, housing, temporary housing. So that's the body. The mind, we have a program that is called Workforce Readiness Program. And during that program, women are upskilled so that they are able to enter the work market if they're not already employed, or be more qualified to get the jobs. And when I think about the soul part of it, it's the advocacy, pushing for those rights, pushing for women's rights, which are undoubtedly human rights.
Yeah.
That's where we go with that.
So that kind of leads me into my next question for Niambi. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. What resources are available to women and girls who would have been victims of violence?
So we have a number of resources in the Bahamas, always looking for more. But there is the Bahamas Crisis Center that women and men can reach out to and get help. There's also not as well known Community Counseling and Assessment Center. This is the outpatient branch of Sandilands, and so that's located right up the street from here. where people can walk in and get appointments if they're experiencing violence or psychological distress. There are a number of hotlines that persons can call. The Bahamas Psychological Association has a number of hotlines. And there are also, if people are in stressful situations and it's not a pertinent or very acute violent event, but they just need help, people can access their insurance to get help with counseling and see psychologists to try and get out of certain situations.
See, I didn't even realize that, and I think that's a deterrent for a lot of people from getting the help that they need, the fact that they think that it's cost prohibitive. So
Yeah.
that's excellent news. Also, you talked about psychological distress. What are some of the psychological effects of violence?
So violence can have effects in all areas of our community. On the individual, violence can cause loss of trust, depression, all the way to suicidal thoughts, feeling disconnected from one's community. At a community level, violence can give the impression that it's normal, that violence is the way to solve problems. And I think we are seeing the effects of that in our community much too often.
I'm going to change to Sonia and Janet. So on a happier note, what are some of the activities that you have planned as part of this campaign?
Yeah, well, we're looking to have many events. We have a big event at Centerville Park that Janet will expand on a bit more. We're having a healthy relationships a webinar that we'll make available online so that many persons can participate. We want to encourage companies to join us in this effort by decorating their buildings with orange ribbons to bring awareness. We're looking for persons to sign an online petition to support the amendment to the Sexual Offenses Act. So many activities to bring broad attention to this, because violence directly affects somebody, but it indirectly affects all of us, and we're feeling the effects in the community.
So during our celebration, we're having an outreach event in the Centerville community, and that is going to happen on the 26th of November. So let me just give you an idea of what that day looks like.
Sure.
So we get there about 12 o'clock, and we have a lineup of survivors and or victims of domestic violence or gender-based violence. We have professionals in the field, like Niambi, and others who would speak to the gender-based violence issues. We also have entertainment. We'll have a band. We have, and of course, we cannot have any event in the Bahamas without food.
Of course.
So
Nobody's coming if there's no
so we have food, but the whole premise is to advocate for the rights of women not being abused and understanding exactly what that looks like. Because sometimes we get it a little twisted, not knowing, some things are, I want to use this term, cultural. So getting away from the cultural norms of getting top up or it's okay.
Yeah.
So that is our event on the 26th. We're also going into Parliament. We know that nothing can happen without the laws of the Bahamas supporting us.
Yeah.
So we have a pinning of our parliamentarians during that time. And one or two other events will go. We also have a healthy relationship where we're going to go into the primary school. So we're working the older ones
From the ground
and
up.
then we're working the little ones, so that together we would end gender-based violence in this country.
Absolutely. And just before we wrap up, I want to ask, how can the public lend their support to this campaign?
Right. So they can lend their support by participating in the events that we're having, wearing orange during this time. Please reach out to us. I'm happy to share my number, 357-4724, or zontaclubofnassau@hotmail.com. Reach out to us and be a part of this.
Well, thank you, ladies, for joining us this morning, and thank you for the incredible work that you do.
Thank you.
All right, and thank you for joining us on Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
push-to-talk device is a beautiful device. It operates on our world-class cellular network. You can take pictures, you can take videos, you can put your persons in different groups. If they want the engineering team to have a different communication than the finance team or the security team, you can do that with the push-to-talk device. And that's not something that you can actually do with a regular communications radio device. We have several different types of devices. There's the 380, the 580 plus, and then there's the 590 plus, which is the top of the line device.
I used to think of the bank as my personal ATM machine. If I wanted a new car, new furniture, a weekend trip to Miami, no problem, just max out the credit card or top up my loan. I was a big baller until I realized that 75% of my salary was going to pay back all those loans. Fidelity's personal financial coaching was the best solution. Fidelity gave me a plan with a debt consolidation loan that has a built-in savings that pays 5% interest. I now only have one low monthly payment plus money in my pocket. Give Fidelity Bank a call at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit any of Fidelity's locations or visit a website at fidelitygroup.com.
The islands of the Bahamas. Fly away.
One thing, two things. Blue thing, all things. Things that are small, things that are grand, things that fit just right, and in the palm of your hand. Fox Hill Nursery, a large selection of garden supplies. If you can see it in your mind, you can find it at Fox Hill Nursery.
What do you want from a cloud solution? You want flexibility and edge? You want to modernize applications with the ability to deliver new ones with lightning speed. You want an infrastructure that's automated, secure, cost-effective, and scalable. You want to give the end user the freedom they want with the control you need. You can't get all that from just any cloud. You need something better. You need Bahamas Cloud. Contact the experts today at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Island.
Welcome back. The Long Island Business Outlook is happening next week, Thursday, November 17th. And here to discuss with us his presentation at the event is Keiran Chase, Retail Channel Manager of all Alive and Rev locations throughout the Bahamas. Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning. First of all, thank you for having me. A special shout out of appreciation to TCL Events, who has done a good job of, over the last few years, putting these business outlook events together. So I'm very grateful to represent the Cable Bahamas group this time.
Yeah, and we're very grateful to have you as a part of it. Looking forward to your discussion. So tell us, what is your title and tell us your position at Alive and Rev?
Retail Sales Channel Manager. Basically, that simply translates to head of retail. So I'm responsible for all of our retail stores and the retail experience throughout the entire Bahamas for Rev and Alive services.
Now you say throughout the entire Bahamas, and that sounds like a big task. So tell us how many stores or locations you have, and how do you balance between it all?
So we have 5 in New Providence. The rest are scattered throughout the islands. We do have some hybrid locations that we call mobile stores, but they also have storefronts as well. So it's pretty good coverage across the islands. Of course, Abaco, Exuma, Eleuthera. Definitely Long Island, as you would have mentioned. We also have a hybrid store on Cat Island as well, amongst other locations. So the bandwidth is pretty strong.
Alive sounds like it's everywhere, man. Every rock and key throughout the Bahamas, right?
Absolutely.
I love it. I love it. So your company is dedicated to delivering a true omni-channel omni-channel ecosystem. Please explain to us what this means.
Yes, so under the theme that I will be presenting at the Business Outlook, which is meeting the challenge of a truly integrated experience, that actually falls into our mission this fiscal year 23 of providing a true omni-channel experience. What that simply means is we have various channels that our customers interact with. So of course you have the retail stores, which we would have mentioned, but you also have our mobile services that come to you at the drop of a dime. You also have the IVR that you can call in and follow the prompts to get the service you need. You also have the contact center, which I would be remiss if I did not mention that during the passing of Nicole, they were open for 24 hours, ready and willing to take the calls of our customers to answer any questions that they have. So it's just a truly holistic, interconnected experience of merging all of those customer touch points together.
Yes, and I'm happy that you mentioned Alive was up and running during the tropical storm.
Absolutely.
I know during Dorian, a lot of people were very happy with your service, and it seemed like you've continued to be able to provide that reliable service during the rough weathers. So tell us, what are some of the business highlights that Alive or Rev would like to discuss as 2022 draws to a close?
Yeah, so first and foremost, I definitely want to mention the introduction of Alive Fiber. This is a brand new network, guys. At 1 gigabit per second, it's set to be the fastest network in the nation. So we are very excited about that rollout. Over the next 12 to 18 months, it will be deployed in phases throughout New Providence. And then, of course, we look towards the rest of the Family Islands. But that's what's on the horizon. For more information, definitely stay tuned in to bealive.com, which will be a central source for updates as fiber becomes available in your area.
I'm definitely looking forward to that. Y'all start in the east, eh? Y'all come right to San Susie. Y'all work that out for us, and then y'all head west, right? So for the Long Island Business Outlook, you are giving a presentation next week. What is the topic of your presentation, and how does it relate to Long Island and the Bahamas?
Yeah, so just looking more deeply into the omni-channel experience that I would have mentioned, what we want to be keen on and firmly aware of is as we make these technological advancements through the customer experience, we need to consider all of the Family Islands, and of course Long Island falls into that. I'm proud to say that under new management, we have revamped our leadership in Long Island, and we are making strides in terms of making sure that we're ever present and ever involved in the community. So we just want to, make sure that we continue to ingratiate ourselves since being introduced in 2018 with the first retail store there in Long Island.
Well, I love to hear that. I got Long Island blood running through my vein. The Majors, the Smiths, the Millers, and tick, tick, tick. So I'm glad to hear that Long Island is having some upgrades and there's some development for the future of Long Island. What are some of the important takeaways from your presentation that we should pay attention to?
The important takeaways, I want to touch on two things. One, the fact that we constantly use internal and external data as well as social listening to constantly improve our customer experience. So we do have a customer experience roadmap that we continue to flesh out and develop, but at the same time, we're introducing new products and campaigns that supplement that omni-channel experience. So for example, when you go to the My Alive app, there's actually a special offer depending on your purchase history, which is curated for every single customer. Additionally, we just would have rolled out senior plan offers. So everyone that is 60 years and older can now benefit from our postpaid experience for as low as $39 a month.
Wow.
60 years old, I know that's not exactly senior, but we just took it a step further to make sure that that demographic is taken care of. They don't have to worry about top-ups, etc. You just sign that contract and we take care of you for 2 years at that very low rate.
Wow. That sounds like an amazing deal. Those young at heart who are at 60,
Exactly.
I'm sure that they are listening with their ears peaked. So we've heard lots of great things about your presentation and what Alive is doing. Tell us, what sets Alive apart from the other companies out there providing
What
similar
sets us
services?
apart is, beyond our digital integration and leading the charge on that, there's also the human element of it. We take customer feedback very seriously, and we make sure that we incorporate that into everything that we do. I just want the public to be aware of how to contact us if they do want to give us any feedback. For general inquiries, it's info@cablebahamas.com. But if you run into an issue, you hit a snag, you want us to resolve it, you email complaintshandling@cablebahamas.com. So the Customer Experience Division has a very sophisticated ticketing system. That's how we filter all of the customer feedback, and they'll be sure to let me know and my other counterparts know what our customers are experiencing, and we'll be on the dime to resolve it.
I definitely agree. You can feel the personal touch of Alive, and especially when it comes to customer appreciation and customer interaction. And as you mentioned, always ready to receive feedback. So
Absolutely.
sets you apart from the rest. Keiran Chase, Retail Channel Manager with Alive and Rev. We'd like to thank you for coming on Bahamas at Sunrise this morning. Looking forward to your presentation next week at the Long Island Business Outlook and all of the exciting things that Alive has to offer and be rolling out in the next year. So thank you again for joining us day early.
Thank you. Looking forward to it as well.
Good. You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
Nassau Agencies Limited is pleased to announce that we are in compliance with the new Price Control Drugs Amendment Regulations 2022. We continue to cooperate with the government as they seek to bring economic relief to our citizens and residents. Nassau Agencies Limited, distributors of Nature's Bounty vitamins and minerals, nutritionals Ensure, Glucerna, beef disinfectant spray, bark insect sprays, prescription drugs, and health and beauty aids. Nassau Agencies Limited, your quality assured pharmaceutical wholesaler.
The islands of the Bahamas. Fly away.
What do you want from a cloud solution? You want flexibility and edge? You want to modernize applications with the ability to deliver new ones with lightning speed. You want an infrastructure that's automated, secure, cost-effective, and scalable. You want to give the end user the freedom they want with the control you need. You can't get all that from just any cloud. You need something better. You need Bahamas Cloud. Contact the experts today at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
And welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. We're here at the mid-show. Thank you for sticking with us. We know it's dead early, and it's a fantastic Friday. My name is Mark Daniels.
And I'm Davriel Gardner.
And we're so happy to have you with us, Dev. How was... is Dev. Dav?
Yes.
Let me check my script. Yes, it's Dav. All right. So how was your first half of the show?
It was great. You know, I got to speak with the ladies from Zonta, and they talked about some of the really incredible work that they're doing in the community as it relates to preventing violence against women, which is super important, particularly for me as a woman.
Hey, and for me, I have a mother, and I have a young baby girl now, so definitely, whether or not I had a daughter or not, it's an important topic for discussion. And for us men out there, we must be sure that we are aware of ourselves. And if you feel like you need to talk to someone, there are resources out there. We've had Emmanuel Medical Center on here a number of times with a number of psychologists on that allows you to speak and get things off your chest. Don't ball it up. Don't take it out on the women in your life. Do better as men, right?
Yeah, and don't take it out on the men in your life either. You know, violence is everybody's problem. And so everyone's got to work on that.
I don't know, some of these fellas need a couple of whops. You know, some of them need 2 whops just to sort them out, right? Just 2 whops and that's about it. And we were
Well, I won't argue with that. Sometimes.
Yeah. Right? And we had a live on, and they were talking about their presentation for the Long Island Business Outlook, and looking forward to that presentation. They're live doing lots of great things in the Family Islands. Staying connected during Tropical Storm Nicole, that's a key thing, so people can stay in touch, feel comforted, and reach out for help if they need it.
Honestly, when it comes to dangerous situations like that, connectivity can be the difference between life and death. So that is super important, and always glad when it's working like it should.
Boom. And I want to send a shout out to Brother Godfrey Burnside, who did wish me a happy birthday. My birthday was yesterday, everyone. I had a low-key day, chilling out with the family, chilling out with the kids. And so thank you again, Godfrey. A wonderful rendition. I got to put that as my ringtone to play that next time around, right? So we've got a second half of the show coming up, and looking forward to these segments. We'll be discussing the National Sports Hall of Fame and National Sportsman.
All right, and we'll also be talking about Bahamas Roadmasters and the 10th annual Bahamas Half Marathon. But for now, let's take a second look at weather with Godfrey Burnside.
Weather at Sunrise, brought to you by Bahamas First. What's first for you comes first for us.
Thank you, Gabrielle. Good morning, Bahamas. And your second look at weather sunrise before I get to the tropics. Mark had a birthday yesterday, and Elisa's having a birthday on Sunday. Happy birthday, you guys. Enjoy your birthdays. We love you here at Bahamas at Sunrise. In your second look at weather sunrise, the tropics, and we do still have Nicole is now downgraded to a tropical depression. And at 5 a.m. this morning, tropical depression Nicole was located at latitude 31.9 degrees north, longitude 84.5 degrees west, some 70 miles to the southwest of Macon in Georgia. Those winds are now down to 35 miles per hour. This is expected to dissipate sometime tonight. Elsewhere, tropical cyclone formation expected during the next 5 days. On local scene, yes, we still have those trailing rain bands from Nicole, and they'll be with us probably through tonight into early tomorrow morning. Those winds, you'll notice, have decreased, and those winds, the seas will start subsiding over the next couple of days. But for the most part today, the winds south to southwest at 10 to 15 knots, sea to the 4th and northwest Bahamas. Those winds falling light and variable at times. Southeast to south at 10 to 15 knots, sea to the 4 feet of the central and southeastern islands. On Saturday and Sunday, those winds will be light and variable, seas 1 to 3 feet. Still have some swells. Those swells will probably be up to 5 to 8 feet through the weekend. Your tides. You can expect a high tide at 9:22 this morning. Your next low tide will be at 3:54 this afternoon. High gain tonight at 9:40. Sunset at 5:23 this evening. Rises tomorrow morning at 6:24. UV index 8. Your water temperature 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Honeymoon phase, full moon. Your extended look. Like I said, still have some of those rain showers and possible thunderstorms through tomorrow across the islands. But for the most part, a lovely weekend still weather-wise. Those spotty sunny skies. We do expect a weak frontal boundary move here sometime. Sunday night across Grand Bahama, Abaco, Bimini. Monday morning across New Providence. Little no weather associated with it. Just a slight cool down, not much at all. The temperature daytime will be in the mid to upper 80s daytime before that front, in the low to mid 70s. After the front passes, mid 80s daytime, low 70s at nighttime. That's what you're up in your phone. Look at weather at sunrise. I'm Godfrey Burnside. Back to you, Gabrielle.
Thanks, Godfrey. The Bahamas Half Marathon is scheduled for Sunday, November 20th, and here to tell us all about it is Anastasia Turnquest, President, Bahamas Roadmasters, and Michael Cunningham, Vice President of Bahamas Roadmasters. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you. Certainly a pleasure to be here. Yes.
So, I guess this question is for either of you. How did the Bahamas Half Marathon begin?
Well, the Bahamas Half Marathon came out of wanting to give back to the community. We are running club with 30 years. We celebrated 30 years.
30 years
last year. So we've always wanted to give back. We used to have a 20-mile run a few years
20
ago.
20 miles?
Yes.
Oh my. In one day?
In one day, yes.
Wow.
We ran 26 in one day.
In one session.
But
wow.
yeah, so anyway, we wanted to give back. So that's how the idea came about. So we have 2 events a year to give back to charity. One in Labor Day, which is the midnight run. and then the Bahamas half marathon in November, which is a 5K, 10K, and a half marathon.
Wow. That's incredible. So seeing as this is an internationally certified event, which countries are expected to participate this year?
Oh man, we were hoping to have all of the continents, right? But unfortunately, we don't have all at this time, I guess because of the pandemic. But we have folks from Ireland is coming, individuals from the United States.
Okay.
We have Nigeria, we have Canada, we have the Cayman Island, and
You have Jamaica.
and Jamaica as well is coming. So you know we got the powerhouse from the Caribbean is coming.
Yeah.
But they're short distance runners, so I'm sure that the Bahamians would fare well in this long distance run. But it's encouraging to see that this is really becoming a big international event, right? And this is the second time that we hosted where we had international runners.
So in terms of the actual, I know you mentioned a few different race times, but in terms of the actual event, which all races are expected to take place?
Well, like I said, we have a 5K, 10K, and the half marathon. The 5K tends to be more popular, you know, for those who are not too
people like me.
Yeah, who just want to, you know, the 5K is walker friendly, so people don't have to be anticipated, oh, I can't run, yada, yada. The 5K is walker friendly, and that's 3 miles. The 10K is 6 miles, and the half marathon is 13 miles. So the 5K and the half marathon tend to be the more popular.
Okay.
And the half marathon tends to draw in more international participants.
Okay. And I can imagine, you know, this is a beautiful space to run in. If you're coming from Ireland, even in the U.S.
Right, and they tend to look during the winter for warmer climates to run, so it's very attractive to the international market, yes.
Now, in terms of the races, how competitive are they?
Oh, it's becoming more and more competitive now because once you start attracting international runners, the competition really beeps up. And we also have a cash purse as well, right? And that makes it even more competitive.
I'll bet.
The first time we had it in, I think it was 2019, the winners got $5,000 each. And of course we had second place winners also got cash as well, and third place winners. This year we have reduced the cash prize, which is $2,500, which is still a good sum.
That's still a good prize.
Those persons coming from Ireland, that can take care of their entire trip and the vacation as well, right? $2,500. And of course, second place is $1,500. We have it's $500 for third place, yes. And then for the residents, we figured that the last time we did it, not many residents were able to. No resident was able to capture the first or the second. So we decided this time, wait a minute, we're going to give something for the residents as well, and that's $250 for male and female. So that within itself should draw a good number of persons. The 10K and the half marathon is the competitive event.
Okay. So in terms of, I guess, what you do, are there any charities affiliated with the organization? Is anyone going to benefit from proceeds?
Yes, this year the charities involved are Families of Our Murdered Victims Foam and Way of Life organization. A lot of people are familiar with Foam, you know, they assist with victims' families. And Way of Life is an inner city, they deal with the inner city youth, troubled youth, mentoring and guiding and that sort of stuff. That's headed by William Land. So those are the 2 charities we're donating to this year.
Awesome.
But we will donate to many over the years.
Now we know that things like this aren't cheap, aren't easy to put on. Who are your sponsors this year?
Our sponsors this year, or our corporate sponsors, they've been awesome with us over the years. Cancer Treatment Centers of America. We can't thank them enough for what they've done for us. And we have Caribbean Bottling Company, of course. Hydration is important. They sponsor the hydration. We have Ministry of Tourism on board with us. We have Lignum Advisors, Bahamas Welding and Fire, Insurance Company of the Bahamas, Kalina Insurance are with us. Who else is there?
FYP.
FYP, yes. So.
Oh wow! So you're stacked.
Yes.
Do your sponsors have teams that are participating?
Yes, we encourage sponsors to have teams, and as well as they assist with water stations, chair zones. So we invite them to be involved all around in all aspects. They help assist with distributing medals as well.
Okay. Well, you touched on it, but just remind us, what are the prizes that folks will be competing for?
Well, I may add, as it relates to charitable organizations, over the years we have donated more than $100,000 to local charities, right? And even those who have been affected by Hurricane Dorian as well. So we have 70 members, 70 plus members in our club, and we do it for fun, but we do it to give back as well. Now the prizes, other than monetary prize, you have finisher's medal. Anyone who crossed the finish line will get a medal.
Wow.
And then the first, second, and third finishers, male and female, will also get not only a medal, but they would also get a trophy.
You need that.
So, you know, there's something that you can take back home and say, well, look, I beat this one or I beat that one.
Yeah, this was an experience.
Yeah.
And I was victorious. I love it. So remind us of the date of the Bahamas Half Marathon and what time it's going to take place, where it's going to be.
The date is Sunday, November 20th. That's next Sunday. It's starting at 6 a.m. at Arawaki, and it's an out and back course. We start at Arawaki. We go as far as San Fran and back for the half marathon, just before Bahama Boulevard for the 10K, and then go slow bend for the 5K. So it's a flat out and board course along the shoreline.
And it should be a beautiful run.
Yes.
And it's a certified course.
It's a internationally certified, yes. So persons the half marathon can use the event for qualifying times
Wow.
for other races, yes.
All right, well, let us know, where can people register if they still want to participate?
Okay, they still want to register this Saturday. We will be at the Sports Center, both Sandy Port and Harbour Bay locations from 10 a.m. till 5 p.m. There's also Lignum Advisors on Elizabeth Avenue and Union Court, as well as online, bahamashalf242.com. And we encourage folks to sign up online.
All right, well, thank you so much for letting
Thank
us
you
know about this exciting event. I'm sure everyone in the running community, and maybe even people like me, will want to come out and enjoy.
It's going to be an awesome event. We have an awesome race village. We have a few entertainers coming at the end to perform, so it's going to be a party at the end as well. So when you run, you can chill and hang out and have enjoy, yes.
Yeah.
All right, well, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
And all the best with the event. And to you, thank you for joining us on Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
Nassau Agencies Limited is pleased to announce that we are in compliance with the new Price Control Drugs Amendment Regulations 2022. We continue to cooperate with the government as they seek to bring economic relief to our citizens and residents. Nassau Agencies Limited, distributors of Nature's Bounty vitamins and minerals, nutritionals Ensure, Glucerna, beef disinfectant spray, bark insect sprays, prescription drugs, and health and beauty aids. Nassau Agencies Limited, your quality assured pharmaceutical wholesaler.
The islands of the Bahamas. Fly away.
One thing, two things. Blue thing, all things. Things that are small, things that are grand, things that fit just right, and in the palm of your hand. Fox Hill Nursery, a large selection of garden supplies. If you can see it in your mind, you can find it at Fox Hill Nursery.
Welcome back. November is National Sports Month, and that means it's time for more great athletes to be honored and inducted into the National Sports Hall of Fame. Joining us this morning is Kelsi Johnson-Sills, Acting Director of Sports with the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture, Perry Thompson, an honoree and inductee to the National Sports Hall of Fame, class of 2022, and Byron Ferguson, Sports Officer, Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture. Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us dead early this morning, talking about National Sports Month. So, Kelsi, tell us, it's National Sports Month. What is highlighted during this month and why?
Besides the honorees, who should have all of the focus because they have actually given so much of their time, dedication, commitment to the sports, whether it's on the administration side, athlete, or as a coach. As you can see, Mr. Thompson, he was a former basketball player who excelled into coaching. So as former athletes, you never want to give up on sports. It doesn't matter where you are, it doesn't matter who you are. And this particular class of 2022, they're a diverse class. We have basketball, we have volleyball, we have soccer. We have all of those persons coming in from a wide background of sports.
That's exciting, and I'm glad that you mentioned the administrative team as well. Most people focus on the athletes. They see the coaches, but there's a team of people behind the scenes who are helping equipment managers and logistical managers and nutritionists. And so all of these persons being a part of this honoree or inductee ceremony in whatever capacity is definitely encouraging. What are some of the planned activities for the month?
Well, we were hindered this week by the passing of Tropical Storm Nicole, so we had to postpone a number of our events. However, they will be held later on in the month. We have a fun run walk on November 26th that starts at 6:30 a.m. That will start at the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium. The route is you take a left, you come out of the stadium, you take a left, head towards the six-legged roundabout. Then you take a left, again, heading into Bethel Avenue. Then you take the immediate left in the back of the tracks. Everybody knows where the tracks are if you went out on Sunday. And you head towards GHS. And then you take a left again, head towards the Hope Center. And the next left, everything is left. Just keep left. Just like you're driving, just keep left. We do have our staff enrichment program, which will actually take place next week. It's supposed to be held today. That's when the minister and everyone in our entities, everyone from all of our different entities will participate in a series of events. And we also have a sauce-a-thon that everybody will be bragging about. So if you have a little space in your belly next week, you can come down and join us. But one of the things this year, one of the amazing things, that happened this year was we were able to have all of the family islands participate in National Sports Month. From Freeport, we don't have a particular sports officer in Inagua, but we were able to send down some equipment so they can actually have some games. So everywhere, every island had something going on. Exuma contacted me yesterday. Abaco postponed their events due to the passing of Tropical Storm. Freeport also have their event, and that will climax with the Tabernacle basketball tournament. So if you don't have to be on New Providence to celebrate National Sports Month, I want everyone to go to the various family islands. Clara Young is doing an excellent job in Eleuthera. The minister was down in Long Island. We had a baseball, softball, and basketball tournament in Eleuthera last weekend. I was there. We had a basketball and softball tournament. I was able to visit some of the facilities. And I have an amazing sports officer, Mr. Byron Ferguson, who's also going to put on a beach volleyball tournament next weekend. This weekend we were supposed to play some softball, but Nicole had it where we didn't want to show up the professionals, you know. The amateurs didn't want to actually put the professionals on a little standby.
Right.
But I want them to know that we are coming and our bats are blazing.
All right, that sounds like a lot of fun activities planned, and definitely looking forward to them, and I'm happy how it's spread out across the islands, making sure everyone feels involved. Mr. Perry Thompson, so tell us, how do you feel about being inducted into the National Sports Hall of Fame?
I mean, it's a pleasure. Elated and happy that, you know, folks are that, you know, to recognize my contribution to the sports for something that I enjoy, something I love doing. You know, I have a passion for helping kids in particular, especially from my roots in Brunstown. You know what I mean? I always was community minded, so it was important for me to give back, you know, to the kids. So that's how I really got deep into it, and like you have to say, from a player into coaching, because I always wanted to find some form, some way where I could really contribute to the sport.
And that's good, and that's a big part of being an athlete, is that you get an opportunity to pour back into the community and pour back into the next generation. So tell us, what was your player career like, and how did that transition into coaching?
Well, you know, I started out my career, well, you know, from school time, from T.A. Thompson to T.G. Glover on to Aquinas College, where I played under the Aces under Charlie Softly Rubens, who was my coach at the time. And I had a short stint at St. Leo College. And returning back home, I started my career with Central Adventures and then the Warriors and the Sharon Store. And then I moved on to General Electric Shockers on the Carl and Cartwright. And then I moved on to the Kentucky Colonels on the Martin Lundy. And then I started my own program after that. What happened during my playing career, like everybody else, we have injuries. So I had a knee injury, and I said I was advised to take a year off to rest. So I'm still resting from that year off. So that's how come I got into coaching at a very early age.
Right. And what is it you like most about coaching?
I mean, to see that, when you see kids develop, more so on, not just on the basketball court, but it helps with their personal lives because I think if it wasn't for a lot of us involved in sports and assisting these young kids, they could be anywhere at this stage in their lives, you know what I mean? So we impacted a lot of kids across the country. I mean, we have people who came from our programs probably playing right now. There's so many, they're playing on every team in the league right now, so I'm very happy and satisfied to see the impact, that I was able to make through sports and basketball in particular.
And what's amazing about it is that the same way you pour into the athletes that are on your team, those lessons can carry over into the real world outside of sports. As an athlete myself who's had wonderful coaches, they tend to bring the best out of you, even when you can't see it in yourself. And so those basic principles of mentorship and coaching can translate off the pitch, off the court, into everyday life. And I'm just happy that you have the opportunity to continue to pour into our young athletes and helping them to change their lives. Byron, so tell us, what are some of the other class of 2022 inductees for the Hall of Fame? Who are they?
We have a few popular names that everybody know. Obviously, we have the Golden Girls. Right. We have Ray Myers Jr., Dr. Patty Simonet, my former coach, Mr. Raymond Wilson, Rhymes, they know him as, and a few others who are well known in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Yeah, and I know those names. And Dr. Patty, she's been a nutritionist for our team, for the soccer team, the national men's soccer team, for many years. She helped to get me into shape. I might need her right now. It's been a while since I ran some laps. So tell us, as an athlete yourself, how important is it that we as a nation continue to recognize the contributors in the sporting community, both past and present?
As an athlete, we all wish and love to be recognized for our contributions. A lot of people inspire you, not from being in contact with you directly, but look at the Golden Girls. We have many people who want to run track right just after watching that one race. We have plenty of people like Mr. Thompson, like Mr. Wilson, who are coaches and pillars in the community. They are father figures and mother figures to all of us, and it's not always about what you do on the court. They help us a lot off the court as well.
And what do you think is one of the biggest lessons you've learned as an athlete playing in the Bahamas, representing the Bahamas, and where you're at now?
The biggest thing I've learned is discipline. If you can't watch what you eat, what you drink, how you train, all of this matters at the end of the day to have a good result to put on for your family and your country.
That's it, discipline. Hey,
Yes,
I need a little more of that. I think I need to call y'all and help y'all coach me along the way. So Kelsi, as we wrap up, tell our viewers any final thoughts about National Sports Month and about the Hall of Fame induction ceremony.
Well, I'll be remiss if I did not mention our aerobics program that started on the first day. Coombe had more than 500 participants out there at the National Stadium. It's a free exercise program 3 times a week for an hour and a half, high intensity workout. So if you want to lose some pounds, you still got about two and a half more weeks to go.
All right.
Fun Run Walk, if you're interested in participating on the morning of November 26th, the registration code is, I can give you the registration code. I should have actually given this, I'll read the registration code so we could have put it up. But we also have forms that are available at the National Sports Authority. And today, even though this is our National Sports Month, Team Bahamas is playing, so I want everyone to come out and go and cheer on Team Bahamas as they play their 3rd window in this series, and they also have a game on Sunday. So we do have a lot of activities including coaches recognition. There are persons who aren't being inducted into the National Hall of Fame this year, or maybe next year, or maybe 5 years from now. But that doesn't mean that we can't recognize the contributions that they've made to the community, the life-changing moments that they've had with a person. You know, like you said, sports has the power to change lives. It instills discipline, dedication, commitment, and most importantly, it gives you manners. And you know what old people say? Manners takes you around the world.
Let's carry you far.
Yes.
Thank you for that. Mr. Thompson, once again, as we wrap up, any word of advice for those athletes who are looking for longevity in the game, to stay relevant and to make an impact?
Well, my thing is, never give up. You know, you got to persevere through the hard times. This is more important than anything else. But I have a surprise for Byron. I don't want Byron to think I was just a basketball player. I was also a softball player. I pitched for the Patelco Raiders.
All right.
In addition to that, Russia Cartwright was also my tutelist. He taught me how to set. So I was a very good setter, Byron.
Yo, bring the ball out, man. Let's see. Bring the ball out. Set doesn't let Byron smash the set.
I only switched to basketball, you know what I mean? But he taught me very well how to set.
Well, we appreciate those words of wisdom coming from you, Mr. Thompson. Congratulations again on being inducted into the Hall of Fame this year. And I'd like to thank you all.
Don't forget that the National Sports Hall of Fame induction ceremony is on Wednesday. We do have tickets available, so if you know anyone who's being inducted into this year's class, you can come and get a ticket from us at the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture. Or if you would like to sponsor anybody on the ad side, we do have a souvenir booklet that you can actually sponsor Mr. Thompson here if you would like, or any one of our honorees. So don't forget that the National Sports Hall of Fame induction ceremony is Wednesday,
and sounds like
at
you
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock at Bahamas.
Yes.
Dress up to the team, man. Perry getting inducted, so we got to make sure. Ball gowns, sharp from head to toe. Don't come in no basketball uniform or no volleyball uniform.
Yes, I know, right?
Come dressed sharply. So thank you again, Kelsi Johnson-Sills, Acting Director of Sports at the Ministry of Youth and Culture. Perry Thompson, inductee into this National Sports Hall of Fame, class of 2022. And Byron Ferguson, Sports Officer with the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture. Thank you all for being on our show this morning, talking about the National Sports Hall of Fame. Congratulations again.
Thank you again. Appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us. You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back. And that's going to do it for us here on Bahamas at Sunrise on a fantastic Friday. We'd like to thank you again for joining us dead early. It's always our privilege and pleasure to have you join us on every episode. And you go forth and have a great and productive weekend. Jav, what do you have up this weekend?
What do I have up this weekend? I think I'm going to get some much needed rest.
Yes.
And hang out with my family.
Yes, that's always good. Rest is best. Rest is best. There's a couple of things happening this weekend. There's a jazz festival happening tonight. What else is happening this weekend? I don't know.
You know what? There is an exhibit at Turn Gallery that one of my friends told me about that I might go to this evening, a Bahamian artist.
Go get some jazz tonight, go see some artwork, get a little sophistication and culture in your weekend, but also get some rest. And hit the beach, because getting some salt water in your skin is always good.
Always.
Well, thanks again for joining us. We'll see you guys on Monday. Enjoy your weekend. Bye-bye.